No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to the biggest show on Saturday night TV, but in extra form. It's the Saturday Night Extra live on GB News, the People's Channel. I'm Will Kingston, delighted to be joined for a third hour with Dr. Renee Hunderkamp. Coming in off the pine, Cressida Wedden, Trey Lowe and Kai Wilshaw. On our third hour on the show, we're going to be telling you why people are cancelling their Netflix subscriptions en masse.
There's also been a fascinating new interview with the Prince of Wales, I think, telling us how he's going to change the monarchy.
It's your last chance to get your questions in for Ask the Five.
And we're going to find out about this incredible group of lovely puppies.
Oh, and yes, you asked for it. Dr. Renee and I will be getting physical, giving you more health tips.
Puppies and Dr. Renee getting physical. What more could you want at 8 p.m. on a Saturday night? It's Saturday 5 Extra on GB News. Get excited. Welcome to the Saturday 5 Extra. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to know your views across the show. What was that, Renee?
I think I've just moved.
You've just... Oh, you have? Oh. Ah, Renee's now in my spot.
Power of tech.
An interesting little kind of... I was going to say gender reversal there, but I think our genders are still the same. Who knows? You know, you can change more easily by the second these days. We want to know your views as well, of course. Get your views in and post your comments by visiting gbnews.com/yoursay. We've got heaps of Ask the Five questions coming through, but of course we would always like to hear more. Before we start tearing each other apart, it's your Saturday Night News with Bethany Elsey.
Good evening, I'm Bethany Elsey with your top stories from the GB newsroom. Donald Trump says Israel has temporarily stopped bombing Gaza to allow the release of hostages, but added that Hamas must move quickly or else all bets are off. Hamas agreed to free all those it's holding after the US president set a deadline to his 20-point peace plan. The White House says envoy Steve Witkoff will travel to Egypt to discuss the release and negotiate some sticking points of the deal, including the group's disarmament. The Metropolitan Police have arrested 442 people during protests in central London in support of the proscribed group Palestine Action. The group Defend Our Jury says around 700 people were gathered in Trafalgar Square in support of the proscribed group, lower than the projected 1,700. The demonstrations were also held in Manchester, despite calls from the Prime Minister and police for them to be postponed out of respect for the Jewish community following Thursday's terrorist attack. Speaking exclusively to GB News, Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch condemned the action.
I think given that there has been a terrorist attack that has really impacted the Jewish community, having protests on their holiest day, on Yom Kippur, was completely wrong. We have a right to protest in this country, but rights come with responsibilities. And right now all we're seeing is people talking about rights, but no responsibility. Where is the responsibility to stop intimidation? Where is the responsibility to stop violence? We need to do all that, not just protest in a way that is actually making people unsafe and leaving our country.
Greater Manchester Police has been granted more time to question 4 people arrested on suspicion of terrorism offences after the knife and car attack on a synagogue on Thursday. 2 men in their 30s and 2 women aged 46 and 61 can be held in custody for a further 5 days. Another man and woman are also in custody. Officers say the man who carried out the attack was on bail for an alleged rape and that he may have been influenced by extreme Islamist ideology. 35-year-old Jihad al-Shami, a British citizen of Syrian descent, was shot dead by armed officers. And Storm Amy continues to cause widespread disruption across the UK and Ireland, with 42,000 homes still without power. Major parks were closed today for fear of falling trees, and delays have been seen across the rail network and roads. A yellow weather warning for strong winds and heavy rain covers the whole of Britain and will remain in force until later this evening. Those are the latest headlines. Have a very good evening.
Take the GB News family with you on any device. As long as you have an internet connection, tune into GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond.
Thank you, Bethany. That's a wonderful seeing GB News on the moon. What a dream for us all. A couple of comments coming through, and many people happy to see Cressida. Coral North says, great to see Cressida. Someone else says, oh, Cressida, with those little love heart facial emoji things. So a very popular injection off the bench. What have you been up to this afternoon, Cressida?
I've been travelling here from Twickenham on a bus through the rugby fans.
Oh, no.
Why can't they have a carriage that's just for those of us who've got nothing to do with it?
It's a bit segregation.
No, but
fans only.
Let's not get into segregation on buses. I think that potentially takes us down a slightly dark path. Cynthia Williams says, yes, he, as in he being Starmer, can't be this incompetent. He's trying to break Britain. I think it does raise an interesting question, Renee. How much of the problems that we're seeing from this government are down to ideology and how much are down to just rank incompetence?
I think it is a fair combination of both things. I do think they are incompetent and they didn't really realise what government was like because they've been out of it for so long. But I also think this ideology that underpins them, and make no mistake, it is a Marxist ideology. Don't listen to Kai, it is going to break the country because that's what Marxist ideology does.
Cressida, what's your diagnosis?
Well, I think if they were more competent at hiding their ideology, that would be a step forward, wouldn't it? We're all very aware of, well, apart from Kai, about what they're up to.
Yeah, well, talking of barely concealed Marxists, how much of what we're seeing is ideologically driven and how much is just a government which clearly is not competent in executing its ideas?
Yeah, the problem with this government is that it doesn't have an ideology, right? I think if Keir Starmer had a really strong articulation of what Starmerism is, what his government stands for and will do,
no one would have voted
then at the very least they wouldn't be having not only the internal division but also the complete slump in polling that they've seen recently. It's a lack of ideology that actually marks them apart.
Do you know what? Sometimes I think it's done by design. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but we sort of digital ID, isn't it? Do you want to get rid of the migrants? Have some digital ID. I think some of it is actually done deliberately. Keep people at each other's throats.
Well, Kai, let's not forget that this is a man who actually said, I don't want there to be a Starmerism. There isn't a true north there. There isn't a guiding ideology, which is why it's so depressing and so hollow having to follow someone who doesn't inspire. Yeah. Anyway, people who do inspire me are you, our audience. It's time for Ask the Five. We're going to kick off with a question from Heather. And Heather has asked, have any of you listened to the latest Taylor Swift album?
Oh,
Kai.
God.
So I went to the Taylor Swift concert in Warsaw last year.
You're a Swiftie?
Yeah.
I like Taylor Swift, but look, over the last few years, her COVID albums, I didn't really follow them. And I'm not a big I love music, but I don't really follow music. And I found those really pretty poor. And I haven't watched the new album, but I gather that it's been widely panned.
Well, I did listen to it yesterday with my little one who loves Taylor Swift, and she loves it. It's very mellow. It's not at all like the last one. I think my 7-year-old loved the last one because she was allowed to say a swear word as long as she was singing one of Taylor's lyrics, and she found that very exciting.
Can't say it live.
It's to do with poo, though.
Oh.
But I liked it. It was very mellow, and I can see that a lot of Taylor Swift fans won't like it. But I liked it so much that I'm taking Alice tomorrow to the cinema to see the Taylor Swift party video that explains how she made the album.
Cressida, are you a Swiftie?
I'm not. It turns out I actually do know some of her songs, but I didn't realise that until I was told they were Taylor Swift songs. That's really interesting that it's been panned, because we're kind of in the MAGA phase now, aren't we? And we know that she's not best friends with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's just kind of a bit of a political backlash against her.
Interesting. Do you know what? I think I'm the only musician here on this panel. I actually don't understand what people see in Taylor Swift. Is it just me? Am I not cool? Am I too old? Or the only song of hers I like is "Shake It Off."
Can I say
one song? I don't even know the rest of her music.
This is the thing.
I don't know her music.
When I was at her concert, one thing I recognised, knowing that I didn't like certain albums, is that she now is one of those artists that spans a lot of generations of people who each identify with different albums, and I think this is just a case of maybe it's just not for us.
Yeah. I must admit, she did this duet with Bon Iver, which got me through a breakup. It was a really good song.
And for those interested, Will is still single and looking.
Nice to bring back those memories live on national television.
Yeah. We had a soft side.
Yeah. No, I'm a human onion. There's layers there, Cressida. Let's move to the next question. Sylvia has asked, we loved Renee's CPR demonstration last week on Kai, and that was right. It was a fantastic television, wasn't it?
I missed it.
And I think this may be a leading question. Renee, I'm going to ask you, what do you do if someone is choking? And could I please get a visual demonstration?
Oh, so Kai.
Well, thank you very much to Sylvia. The producers are very, very convincing, aren't they?
This is a Heimlich manoeuvre.
This is why I got into TV. This is fantastic. Renee, take it away.
OK, so if somebody is choking, the first thing you want to do is you want to get them to bend over slightly and give a good cough. And if they've got anything obvious in their mouth,
make them cough.
Yeah, make them cough. Anything in their mouth, you just get them to take it out. Anything obvious, like if you've got a great tennis ball in your mouth, take it out.
Okay.
Okay, but if you're still, are you still choking?
Yes.
Okay, so what we want Kai to...
How am I meant to answer if I'm choking?
Turn around. Just stop being cheeky. We want Kai to bend over, and what you want to do with the heel of your hand, guys, like this, you want to do 5 what we call back slabs in between. How hard shall I do this, guys?
Very hard.
Go on.
Very hard.
Quite hard.
Pull some bruising.
5 of those. And if Kai is still choking, what we then need to do is you need to put your arms around him, link your hands together, bend over slightly, Kai, and then you want to pull up.
Sure.
I'm not choking anymore. And that's called the Heimlich manoeuvre. Well, for the second week on the trot, Dr. Renee saved my life. Of course, she did it for World Heart Day last week, or it was on Monday just gone, and now we know that.
What you do is you alternate those 5 back slabs between the shoulder blades with 5 of those Heimlich manoeuvres and just keep going. And if it's not working, obviously someone should be calling 999.
So it's 5 and then back. Oh, I didn't know that.
5 and 5.
Well, that was both informative and highly entertaining. Thank you.
I haven't bent over on Saturday night for a long time.
Oh God! What time is it? Not the 9 o'clock yet.
I apologise to the audience. Has anyone on the panel ever had to get involved in an emergency situation?
Me.
Yes, excluding Renee.
I would think so.
Anyone?
I had to do it out of work.
Oh, wow.
So I unfortunately saw a young girl who was 24 get hit by a motorbike and be seriously injured, who I gave CPR to, and she unfortunately died at the scene.
Oh, God.
So, and I have also seen somebody drop down with a heart attack, and it was actually, what was surprised me, I'd only just qualified, and it was actually as the textbook said. They said that people go grey when they have a heart attack, and this man was grey.
What's the most embarrassing injury or accident you've seen?
You see lots of people turn up at A&E who got up in the middle of the night, slipped over and fell on a broom.
What about...
I'm not going to allow Kai.
No comment from Kai.
No comment from me.
We're going to move on before this just devolves further. I'm going to go to Grayson, who has asked, should you... this is a fairly obvious one, I would imagine. Should you call your child Jihad?
Beautiful name. No, that's a joke, sorry. Obviously. I'm not going to be having children anytime soon, but I don't think I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't
Did you
it?
call Tell me that Nicole Kidman didn't.
So I think this is still a part of the question from Grayson, who has said, bad as Nicole Kidman calling her daughter Sunday Roast.
Is that
For
true?
clarity, I believe it is Sunday Rose. But
Sunday
it is Sunday Roast. But I actually am not against the name Sunday Roast. But that's an aside. Is there? No, there is no single redeeming argument for why a kid should be called Jihad. It is disgusting.
You know, there are countries in the world that actually have lists of names that you're allowed to choose from, and you can't step outside of it. I think Germany, Japan, definitely.
North Korea, probably.
Well, can I tell you about a possibly apocryphal tale from the South Wales valleys? There was a story of a English mother who didn't speak Welsh but wanted to give her daughter a Welsh name, and she spotted a sign for fire exit, a Llanfadan, and called her daughter a Llanfadan. Now, I gather she's out there in the world. But I can't confirm for sure. Well, maybe she's out there, maybe she's a viewer. Please write in if you're called a Llanfadan.
If you don't know what it means, it doesn't sound that bad, don't it?
Do you think? It's quite beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. But if you do know what it means, you're a laughingstock.
I'm an old-fashioned girl. I like the old-fashioned baby names. I mean, I have an Alice. You know, my granddaughter is Isabella.
Fair enough. I mean, that's got a very... Well, it hasn't got any associations, has it? Let's put it
Not
like
with
that.
fire exits or anything.
Not with fire exits.
I like the cool names like Lily and River and all
lovely.
that
Lily's
sort of stuff.
old-fashioned, yeah.
Poppy.
We'll go... Liver?
River.
Liver.
I'm going to call my kid River.
In Australia, for body organs.
I'm going to go to well, it says a question. I think it's more of a statement from Boko. I can't believe Kai's on television wearing logging bottoms.
Jogging bottoms.
I will add a question into this for you, Cressida, because I've noticed this on the panel on other shows with lefties. They're always terribly dressed. Why is it that lefties have such bad fashion sense?
They don't have bad fashion sense. Sometimes they look...
Who's got the sneaky camera catching you again? I love that. That is great camera work.
I'm going to jump to Kai's defence in that he did not think that he was going to be getting out from behind that desk tonight, and only when we did our pre-production meeting did we tell him that we were going to be doing the Heimlich manoeuvre on him.
Yeah, I was dressed for comfort today. It is, after all, my weekend. I like these. I call them my yummy mummy trousers.
I think they're cool.
Because they give a bit of Kath Kidston sort of, you know, strolling in the park with your pram. Maybe I should stop speaking. People would like that.
I like
it.
They do dress down a little.
They do.
They used to get a kind of children's television presenter.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
They've got
the public don't want their lefties kempt.
Yeah, look, they've got no sense of standards, they've got no professionalism, it is endemic amongst the leftist class. We've got one more question, and it's from Georgia. Georgia asks, I assume you all live in London, which is true. Given the choice, what other part of this beautiful country would you live in? City, town, country or village? And specifically an area, if you have one. Krista, what other part of...
I don't know if I live in London, because I've just fairly recently moved to a place near Hemel Hempstead where it's all green. It's like I've moved...
That is Hertfordshire.
Yeah, does that count? I don't know. There's a lot of greenery around now. And having moved from Croydon, it's quite a culture shock. Or somewhere near the coast, Cornwall, that would be lovely. That's the only thing London doesn't have.
Some of the Oxfordshire villages are absolutely stunning, and I could see myself living there. Although I have to say that I think in terms of London, I've picked probably the greenest part of London. I live up in Hampstead. I'm surrounded by Hampstead Heath. It's very green. And my other half, before he moved in near to me, because I don't let him live in my house, before he moved near to me, he used to say I lived in the country.
I'm going to detour to this because I think it's a topic that we need to cover on the Saturday Five. You're of the belief that one of the secrets to a successful relationship is not cohabitating. Yeah. Talk me through that.
So my partner and I live about 100 yards from each other. We have a child.
Yep.
We move between. Tonight I'll stay at his. Next week he might stay at mine. A lot of nights I stay alone. I like it that way.
And your mum is just down the road as well, no?
The corner.
And so if it's at 11 o'clock at night and you're, a bit frisky, do you just kind of, secretly little kind of jaunt down the road?
Could do, but I'm quite old, Will.
Well, you don't look at Renee. Trey, if you weren't to live in
Where would I live?
Where would you live?
Cotswold, I quite like that.
Yeah.
I think it's lovely, yeah. Go up there quite a bit to can't say the name of it, but a private members club.
Very trendy at the moment.
Cotswold's very trendy. I think it's quite a cool neighbourhood.
Yeah, well, I love...
About Soho House.
Oh, God, I thought you were not allowed to mention that on TV.
You said Faux Farmhouse.
I personally love Bath. I would love to live in Bath. Do you know how, Renee, you could get to all of these wonderful destinations?
Do you know what? I might resign so that I can enter this competition.
Exactly right. You can get there in a four-berth motorhome. There's still plenty of time to get your entry into what I have deigned to be the greatest giveaway in the history of UK television. $30,000 in pounds, I should say, in tax-free cash, and a brand new four-berth motorhome. The pound, for a moment at least, is still more valuable than the dollar, which is why we've gone for it. Here's all the details you'll need to get that wonderful motorhome and £30,000 in cold, hard cash.
This is your chance to win a motorhome and cash in our biggest giveaway to date. Courtesy of Marquis Leisure, you could be the proud owner of this 2025 Benamar Primero. It comfortably accommodates 4 people, comes with integrated bathroom and kitchen areas, has plenty of storage and can be driven on your standard driving licence. Plus, you'll also bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like, taking the total prize value of this great British giveaway over a whopping £104,000. Make sure you don't miss out. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Blinds close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. The winner will be contacted live on GB News, week commencing 10th November. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Vote early, vote often, as they used to say in Boston. Steve Anderson's just come back and said, Kai's joggers really cheered me up. Anyone feeling bad about themselves should take a look at them for an instant lift. I'm not quite sure how to interpret that. Up next, Harry accuses insiders of sabotaging a reunion with King Charles, because of course he did. But is a royal comeback underway? You're going to find out after the break on Saturday 5 on the People's Channel, GB News.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Are you panicking when you're in Northern Ireland when you go out and about because there is a lack of chargers?
Well, listen, I'm really pro-EV, and we've had the odd issue with broken EV chargers, in particular yesterday at both Ballymoney at Beasties and also over at Dunsily. We had issues with chargers, but the charging infrastructure is used very rarely. My mother, for example, she has overnight charging at home. She's never used a public charger, and she's had the car for 3 years.
Yeah. So
if you've got that domestic overnight charging, it's cheap. It's very affordable if you buy a 2-year-old EV, and they are absolutely the way forward. I'm a Yorkshireman. I don't like parting with my brass. I want to get cheap motoring, and for less than a penny a mile and a car for less than 20 grand to start with, you know, it sounds a bit blasé saying £20,000, but relative to what these cars are new, they're incredible value for money, and we're seeing mass adoption. There's a garage in Richmond in North Yorkshire that sells more than half of the cars they sell are electric vehicles, and that's in a rural Dales area. So it's about having that domestic overnight charging and not having to rely on public infrastructure.
Danny, where it doesn't convince me at all is, right, so I'm living in London and I want to go to see Manchester United, and I might get there but am I going to get back down again? Or worse still, if I'm not on full charge, I'm going to miss kickoff because I'm going to have to rely on a public charger somewhere. So is that the sort of anxiety? I mean, you were talking about range anxiety there, Ellie. Is that the sort of anxiety people have? I mean, I genuinely have that. Despite what we were hearing there from Fraser.
GB News, the People's Channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to the Saturday 5 Extra. I can see the ratings in the corner of my eye on a chart over there. They are stratospheric. This really is the People's Show on the People's Channel. And to that point, we want to hear from you. Get your comments in, gbnews.com/your say. Former sand dancer Reform UK on Your Say has said, the nursing homes will be quiet tonight if the police keep all those pro-Palestine protesters in custody. It raises an interesting point, Cressida. What is it with this group of geriatrics that always seem to pop up at these lefty rallies?
Surely some of it, I mean, some of it's because they've been involved with Greenpeace or whatever these causes are for years, and maybe they're really into it. But the other thing is, if your pension's coming in regardless of whether you're in the police cell for the night, so you don't have the same risk, do you, as a 30-year-old self-employed builder or something?
Guy, do you think you'll still be manning the barricades at 80?
I've always wanted to get arrested for something chic, you know, like Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda's been arrested multiple times for environmental protesting, and she was also cut her teeth in Vietnam protests back in the day. So maybe.
I think the important thing to say here is, I mean, my sister, who was a feminist that you would not want to tackle, was arrested many times for chaining herself to the railings outside Stringfellows and various things. But this is a different arrest. These people are being arrested under terrorism laws. They do not realise that they're not going to go on holiday again to America. They're not going to go to Australia. They are wrecking their lives.
A feminist you would not like to tackle. This has to be one of my new favourite lines.
Can I read a comment?
You can, Renee. Go on.
I'm unsure how tasers work, so next week could Dr. Rennie demonstrate a taser on Pi?
I think
that's from Michael.
That's a fantastic idea, Michael.
Friend of the show.
We will get producers working on that right away. But before that, fresh twists in the royal drama. Senior government figures are reportedly backing a push to bring Harry and Meghan back into the royal fold. Joy. Richard Eden, who last week revealed an alleged establishment plot against William and Kate, now says there's a surprising new angle. Prince Harry has publicly accused unnamed sources of trying to sabotage his hopes of reconciliation with King Charles. While no evidence confirms a plot, Eden warns the Sussex's relentless PR campaign and the involvement of key figures, including the King and senior officials, could complicate any return. To discuss this, I am delighted to welcome royal commentator Richard Palmer. Richard, welcome to the Saturday 5. Tell us about this plot.
Well, I'm not convinced that there is a plot in that sense, I have to say. I think Harry and Meghan would like to come back to Britain every now and again. Certainly Harry would. Meghan perhaps not so keen. And they'd like to repair the damage with their family. But I'm not seeing any sign of them wanting to be working members of the royal family again, representing the king. I'm not really sure where this is coming from. We do know that Harry was very annoyed last weekend. Some of the briefing that had been taking place really sort of dissing him, and he was talking about the men in grey suits trying to sabotage his efforts to reconcile with his family. The men in grey suits don't appear to be very happy about that, and saying it's not, we're not doing that. And every time he makes these sort of accusations, it makes things harder for them to facilitate father and son to reconcile.
Here's what I don't fully understand. Whenever these stories pop up, it doesn't feel to me like Harry fully comprehends the damage that he has done to the relationship with his family through the communication of private stories through his book and other channels. Am I misreading that? Like, is there a disconnect there with Harry where he doesn't fully seem to comprehend just how much damage he has done?
I think that's probably a fair comment. I think there is a bit of a disconnect. He doesn't. He does. I mean, he does get the fact that his family don't want to speak to him at the moment, and he would like that to change. But he doesn't seem to regret. I think he regrets a few things he's said and done, but he felt like he had to say some of those things about his family that have really upset them and have made it quite difficult for them to repair, mend fences.
I mean,
I was going to say, William, certainly at the moment, William still seems pretty reluctant to start speaking again to his brother.
Yeah, I mean, Richard, I think, does this not feed into the point? Because Harry has done all of these things in the past, and if he really wants to reconcile now, I would say he would just be quiet, carry on negotiating with his father and brother, etc., behind the scenes. But what does he do? He comes over, there's a very public meeting with his father that we all know about, and then he goes and gives an interview to The Guardian. So he isn't learning retrospectively or going forward.
Yes, I mean, I think he was quite careful what he said in that interview, but I think it did ruffle a few feathers. He did ruffle a few feathers again, and I think he might well have been well advised to have avoided talking about meeting his father at all. Yeah. He was really speaking mainly about going to Ukraine and the work he was doing there. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it did ruffle some feathers there.
Richard, forgive my ignorance. I don't really understand. Why do these senior government figures want them back? I mean, it's not like they haven't got lots to be getting on with at the moment. What benefit is there to the UK?
Well, I'm not convinced that the government does want them back. I mean, I suppose you could say that the government, has seen how the royal family can help in diplomacy with Donald Trump, for example, and they are a bit short now of working royals, and that number is likely to diminish further. And again, when William becomes king eventually, we'll probably be down to 5 or 6 working royals. And had the events of 5 years ago not happened, certainly Harry and Meghan would have been central to the future of the monarchy. But I honestly think that ship has sailed. I don't, they could do with a few more members of the royal family, high-profile members of the royal family, travelling abroad, representing the Foreign Office's interests. But I don't really see a comeback for Harry and Meghan on the horizon. I think the best they can hope for, and this does seem to be their desire, is to be able to come back, see the family, let the king see his grandchildren every now and again, and maybe, in Harry's case, come back 4 or 5 times a year to support the charities that he's still patron of over here. That, I think, is the extent of it. But clearly, I mean, Richard Eden on the Daily Mail takes a different view. I'd love to hear more from him on why he thinks that's not the case.
Just very quickly, where's public opinion on all of this? Surely the British people actually have a strong view one way or the other?
Well, I mean, the polls seem to show that Harry and Meghan have got a lot of work to do to regain the popularity that they once enjoyed. And I think we are seeing them, Harry particularly, engaging much more with the British media, trying to get that word, his views over to the British public. And I think that will continue, but there's a long, long way to go at the moment. They're more popular than Prince Andrew, but that's not saying a lot.
Richard, we haven't had a royal conversation on the Saturday Five in a while, so I want to finish by taking a step back. How would you assess the health of the royal family as it stands in 2025?
Well, I think reports of its demise have been greatly exaggerated. I mean, it clearly isn't as popular an institution as it was, say, round about the time of the late Queen's Diamond Jubilee. And, you know, there was all that exciting period when William and Kate got married, Prince George was born, and then Charlotte and Louis. But round about 60% of the British public still support it, and I think William's got some interesting ideas going forward that will modernise the monarchy again. I think we'll see a smaller group of working royals, less formality, fewer charities being represented, but the charities that they work with, you know, there'll be an emphasis on making real change in our society. So I personally, I think the monarchy's got a bright future. It's adapting, and under King Charles, it's adapting already. He's making it a more, well, the royal aides don't like me using this word. I like to call him an activist monarch. They don't like that because they think that implies political activist, but it's more sort of social leadership that we're talking about, I think.
Yes, I think some of our viewers would agree that he is an activist monarch, but I also think that the recent visit of President Trump highlighted the enduring appeal and value of the monarchy. Richard, wonderful insights. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Richard.
On social media the other day, someone said, why do we have an Aussie talking about the royal family? And I had to remind them that, of course, it's my royal family and my king as well.
It, don't you? You love it more than us.
You know, we're still a part of the Commonwealth. King Charles is still our king. Long live the king. Coming up, ladies and gentlemen, find out why J.K. Rowling hits back at Emma Watson, because this was delicious. You're with the Saturday 5 Extra on GB News, the People's Channel.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News travel destinations forecast.
Some very heavy rain across Croatia this weekend, and some more heavy downpours likely in southern Italy as well. Generally fine with sunny spells, a bit of a breeze blowing across the Canaries. Sunshine too for the Algarve. Small chance of a shower if you're heading to Barcelona. Certainly some heavy showers over southern Italy, and those bright colours there suggesting some very heavy rain for Croatia. That should be clearing away as we head into the new working week. So Dubrovnik turning sunnier again for Tuesday. Goodbye.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News travel destinations forecast.
Good evening and welcome to your latest GB News weather update from the Met Office. After a pretty windy day on Saturday, the winds are going to slowly ease as we go through the course of tonight, but there will still be some damaging gusts of wind, particularly across northern parts of Scotland, and that's courtesy of Storm Amy that's only very slowly drifting away towards Norway, and those isobars remain pretty tightly packed together as we go into Sunday. So some very windy conditions overnight tonight, particularly for northern Scotland. Otherwise, the winds will ease down somewhat, but it will still stay fairly blustery around western coasts. A lot of the showers, though, becoming confined to the west, eastern and southern areas turning dry with clear spells, and temperatures staying up in the high single figures for most of us, so a frost-free night to come. Now, Sunday promises to be generally a bit brighter and drier for many of us, and will even begin with some sunshine across northern parts of Scotland. But it will still be very windy. A wind warning still in place until midday, and still the potential for gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour across the Northern Isles and northeast Scotland. Pretty blustery with some fairly frequent showers moving in through the Irish Sea into parts of northwest England, Wales and the southwest. Further south and east, though, across England, many places starting the day dry with some sunshine, and even though the cloud will bubble up as we go through the course of the day, many eastern and southern areas will stay largely dry on Sunday, and it won't be as chilly or as windy as it was on Saturday. Temperatures up by a degree or two, so feeling a bit more pleasant in that sunshine compared to earlier on in the weekend, although fairly cloudy and damp through the afternoon across western parts of Scotland with some fairly persistent rain coming into the west. And that rain will still be around as we go into Monday as well. And through the day, we'll see the wind strengthening once again, with coastal gales developing for northwestern parts of Scotland. Otherwise, fairly warm and pleasant for the northeast of Scotland, Northern Ireland and the vast majority of England and Wales, having a fine day on Monday with some sunny spells. Temperatures will also be above average, and that will continue through the week ahead. Plenty of fine weather in the south, wetter in the north.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Welcome back to the Saturday 5 Extra on the People's Channel, GB News. The comments are coming in thick and fast. Michelle says, Harry and Meghan a royal return? Question mark. FFS, is Starmer deliberately trying to pee us off now? No way, we don't want them back. Here, Michelle. Former sound dancer once again, he's been in good form tonight. Harry sees only his side of the argument. He is the victim. Has he got middle child syndrome? Not technically, but
he's got heir to the heir syndrome.
Yeah, there's that. Anyone a middle child on the panel?
No.
No.
I'm one of two.
I'm the baby.
I'm the eldest.
Those poor younger siblings.
Oh, well, I'm seeing them later. They'll be thrilled to have your sympathy, Will.
Let's move on. It's now time for High Five, where we discuss our favourite uplifting moments from the last week. I'll kick us off, and this was a lovely little story. The Cats Protection charity runs a Cat of the Year awards every year. Thousands of feline competitors sign up. Perhaps not directly, but their owners certainly do. And there is your winner, ladies and gentlemen, the Cat of the Year for the United Kingdom, Fizz, as he is affectionately known as the assistant director at a local theatre company and I'm going to tee up Kai here.
Llandrindod Wells in Powys in Wales.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well pronounced. He's got 2,300 online followers, snapping him out wandering. He's halted the British Bowling Championships. He's crashed weddings. He's got a ton of personality. Well done, Fizz. And what a wonderful little awards. Well done to the charity Cats Protection.
You know, cats used to be worshipped as gods, and they've never forgotten it.
Are you saying that cats have some sort of, God syndrome?
Yeah, absolutely.
They do a little bit.
They have a chip on their shoulder.
They do. It's funny, I grew up in a culture where cats were absolutely feared and hated.
Oh, really?
And I now have 2 of them, and I cannot imagine life without them.
Me too. I
cannot imagine.
I'm being told we're short of time. Renee, what have you got for High Five?
OK, so, J.K. Rowling has been vilified by those little upstarts that she made into multi-millionaires in Harry Potter. Emma Watson, up there with them, who has basically called her a witch on stage, all sorts of things, but always done it in a way that looks quite kind. And this week, JK had enough of Emma because she went online and she said that actually she viewed JK like a mother, really. And you can say bad things, but, you never lose that motherly feeling. Well, JK wrote a beautiful tweet, but the line that I'm going to take out of it that will stay with me is that Emma has so little experience of real life that she's ignorant of how ignorant she is.
I would add, I recall in that wonderful little spiel, she also said, I was living in poverty whilst I was writing the book that made Emma famous. Really highlights how much these ingrates just, are so off the reservation.
She did. Are you rushing on? No? She's also said she'll never need a homeless shelter. She's never going to be placed on a mixed-sex public hospital ward. I'd be astounded if she's been in a high street changing room since childhood, and her public bathroom is a single occupancy and comes with a security guard.
Spot on. Bravo, J.K. Rowling, for all of your wonderful efforts on the trans issue in recent times. Cressida, what have you got for us?
I have a story about a young man called Matthew Taylor, who is a third-generation chimney sweep in Morecambe. I love this story. So the family started chimney sweeping in 1958, and I saw this and I thought, oh my God, someone's sending their children up a chimney. You guys will love that. You think people should work 24 hours a day. But they're not doing that. He actually works under good conditions. But so it's a family business, and his dad, Paul, said he just took to it straight away. He says, honestly, we've never had a cross word. So Prince Harry, get chimney sweeping.
Love
this is such a nice story. And you know, I think chimney sweeps are more in need now because so many people have had wood burners fitted. And so I have to have a chimney sweep.
Yeah, look, I'm all for it. I say, you know, at risk of the black lung, get the kids up there, get them working. I think it's a great initiative. Trey, what have you got for us in High Five?
Certainly not chimney sweeps. I've got something very lovely. It's the lovely little Labrador Tilly. Her owner tasked his sister with looking after lovely Tilly and saying, no, it's just a little bit pregnant and it's not going to happen now, except it did. And Tilly went on to have 14 pups. I've just got one human pup, but I can barely cope, let alone 14 pups.
I think we've got a clip of Tilly as well. Let's see it.
They may be tiny, but these puppies in Beddau are big news. That's because the average Labrador litter is around 6 pups. But proud mum Tilly gave birth to no less than 14 little ones.
Divine. Kai, what have you got for us?
Mine is animal-themed. A tortoise was recycled, survived a spike-barrel drum, dropped 15 feet. A worker at a depot has found this tortoise after it got onto a lorry, they think, and went through that all just to survive.
A tortoise was recycled?
A tortoise was recycled, put through a compactor, dropped 15 feet, and then found at a recycling depot. The depot is now appealing to find its owner.
I was going to say a tribute to the human spirit, but it's not. It's a tribute to the tortoise spirit.
Exactly. Slow and steady wins the race.
Certainly a lesson that we can all take from that. I'm just not quite sure what it is. Up next.
Conference has said this is genocide. Do you accept now it's genocide now your own members are saying it?
You're with the Saturday 5 live on GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to the Saturday 5 Extra, the People's Show on the People's Channel. Let's get cracking. Cressida, what have you got for us with a trigger tantrum?
Well, my trigger tantrum, I don't know if it's a tantrum, but it's actually Elon Musk, who's obviously not a lefty, he's a righty. And he's calling for people to cancel their Netflix memberships because he thinks it's all gone far too woke. And obviously he's got like, skin in the game, right? He feels he lost his son to trans ideology. I think we've got a clip of some of the shows that he's complaining about.
When you're trying to decide, think about all the things you like to do. Just be you.
Just be me. My name is Charles. I stand up for my pronouns. I'm the first.
Look, part of me does worry about cancel culture now hitting the right, but another part of me goes that these woke corporates won't learn unless people start doing things like cancelling their subscriptions. So I say, you know, good on you, Elon Musk. Thank you, Cressida. Kai, what have you got for us?
No, I think the man needs to put the drugs down, frankly. We've got a clip of Owen Jones harassing the Home Secretary at Labour Party conference. Let's take a look.
Conference has said this is genocide. Do you accept now it's genocide now your own members are saying it?
See you later, Jerry.
Do you accept the consensus of genocide scholars that a genocide has been committed?
Charles.
If the UN Commission, the independent commission says genocide has been committed, you're still arming the genocide.
There is a really important peace process and set of discussions that are underway at the moment, which is all about trying to get a ceasefire, the release of all the hostages, and also the return of humanitarian aid.
Just seen our producer Mel sprinting in the background there. Wonderful turn of pace. But that's beside the point. Kai, isn't it great these lefties eat themselves type stories?
Well, I think Owen Jones is just an example of somebody who's just fallen a little bit off the deep end,
Didn't he
it
get
seems
his
to me.
pass taken
He's got his pass revoked, but as somebody said to me when I was at Labour Party conference, if he hadn't got his pass revoked, that would have been a terrible week for Owen Jones, and I think the implication being that, of course, much of this was attention-seeking by him trying to get some views for his YouTube channel.
Cressida, are you an Owen Jones fan?
I'm not, you'll be shocked to hear. Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it, that they threw him out, and of course now he's going to cry free speech, but that Cooper looked like she just had enough there, didn't she?
I think Yvette Cooper probably has just had enough. I think all of them look really battle-weary now.
Yeah, interesting. Well, look, more to come on that in the days and weeks ahead. But that's all we've got time for on the Saturday 5 Extra, the People's Show on the People's Channel. Thank you to all our guests, and of course, thank you to our audience. You do make this show what it is. In the meantime, we have the second best show on Saturday nights coming up with the bloke who thinks he's too good for the Saturday 5 Extra. Now he has his own show, Alex Armstrong.
Thanks, Will. Yes, we've got a really big show coming up tonight. Many of you might have seen I was at the Palestine Action Rally today in Trafalgar Square, accosted by some what I would call far-left thugs who wouldn't let me interview many people at the protest. They'd rather shout down. So much for free speech, eh? And I'm also going to be talking about why there's complete silence from our government over the far-left arrests at the Palestine Action rallies the other night as well. All that and loads more to come on the show, including whether your kids are being taught to hate Britain. I'll see you shortly.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Good evening and welcome to your latest GB News weather update from the Met Office. After a pretty windy day on Saturday, the winds are going to slowly ease as we go through the course of tonight, but there will still be some damaging gusts of wind, particularly across northern parts of Scotland, and that's courtesy of Storm Amy that's only very slowly drifting away towards Norway, and those isobars remain pretty tightly packed together as we go into Sunday. So some very windy conditions overnight tonight, particularly for northern Scotland. Otherwise the winds will ease down somewhat, but it will still stay fairly blustery around western coasts. A lot of the showers though becoming confined to the west, eastern and southern areas turning dry with clear spells, and temperatures staying up in the high single figures for most of us, so a frost-free night to come. Now Sunday promises to be generally a bit brighter and drier for many of us, and will even begin with some sunshine across northern parts of Scotland. But it will still be very windy. A wind warning still in place until midday, and still the potential for gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour across the Northern Isles and northeast Scotland. Pretty blustery with some fairly frequent showers moving in through the Irish Sea into parts of northwest England, Wales and the southwest. Further south and east though across England, many places starting the day dry with some sunshine, and even though the cloud will bubble up as we go through the course of the day, many eastern and southern areas will stay largely dry on Sunday, and it won't be as chilly or as windy as it was on Saturday. Temperatures up by a degree or two, so feeling a bit more pleasant in that sunshine compared to earlier on in the weekend, although fairly cloudy and damp through the afternoon across western parts of Scotland with some fairly persistent rain coming into the west. And that rain will still be around as we go into Monday as well, and through the day we'll see the wind strengthening once again with coastal gales developing for northwestern parts of Scotland. Otherwise, fairly warm and pleasant for the northeast of Scotland, Northern Ireland and the vast majority of England and Wales, having a fine day on Monday with some sunny spells. Temperatures will also be above average, and that will continue through the week ahead. Plenty of fine weather in the south, wetter in the north.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
You could bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. And if that wasn't enough, you'll also get to drive away in this brand new motorhome. This brand new 2025 Benamar Primero could be yours. It comes with all the mod cons you'd expect from a vehicle worth over £74,000 and comfortably sleeps 4 people. This prize package is worth over £104,000. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Miriam, you can't be serious. Scrapping the triple lock on state pensions? Madness.
Andrew, we just can't carry on pretending. The numbers just don't add up. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to face the facts. That's what people want.
Well, that's what you get on GB News and on Britain's Newsroom. Lively debates, lively conversation.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first, and we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News.
Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
I think for far too long in this country, millions of people felt as though they weren't represented at all by the establishment media.
GB News was needed because there literally was no other voice. Everyone was saying the same thing.
GB News exists because there is a desperate need for fearless journalism that puts the people first.
GB News came on the scene as a disruptor, and it has always been a disruptor ever since.
The mainstream is all about keeping the status quo as it is, ticking along quite nicely. They don't want to ask difficult questions.
But journalism is journalism at the end of the day, and we're not here to serve any masters. Our masters are our audience.
Charlie Peters, he gave a voice to the victims of grooming gangs, and now, of course, it's led to a national inquiry.
GB News exists to make sure those concerns are put forward and people feel as though what they want to ask is put to those in power.
We don't take orders from anyone. We ask the questions our viewers and listeners want answering.
I know what's actually being discussed by my family and my friends. Us ordinary, hard-working British people have had enough. We've had enough.
They're fed up with the same old establishment nonsense. Everything that we do is opening up conversations that others are afraid to go at.
Why are you illegally bringing people into Britain?
That is our job. Our job is to get to the truth.
If it's important to you watching or listening at home, then it's important to us as well.
That's what makes us the fearless champion of Britain.